structural potato fans, KiraKitty here. Not to be outdone by ShadowDancerBrony, I bake myself, so we're going to do our own pumpkin thing this time, where I am going to spice it all up with pumpkin cinnamon chip cookies. They're one of my favorites, and I hope you liked it too. So let's get to what ingredients you're going to need. So for this recipe, you're going to need 2 eggs, 2 sticks of butter, pumpkin puree, white sugar, light brown sugar, cinnamon chips, pumpkin allspice, vanilla extract, salt, all-purpose flour, baking soda, and either cooking spray or parchment paper for your pans. Alright, so before we start anything else, we need to set the oven to 350 to start preheating. Alright, so now the next step is we're going to want to soften our butter. There's basically 2 options. You can A, leave it out room temperature about an hour or so, or if you're busy, you could set it in the morning. When you're done with work, come home at night and use the recipe then. Or in our case, we're using a microwave and we're just going to soften it till it's ready to be easily mixed. So now we're going to need to take the 2 now softened sticks of butter and pour them in our big mixing bowl. Make sure to get all that butter out of there, because you want every bit of it. And once that's all in there, we're going to take our beaters. I'm just going to scrape the rest of this butter off there. And we're going to beat until it is nice and smooth, all the same consistency. Now consistency that you want, nice and smooth, all the same consistency, it all looks the same color, it doesn't look like 2 different separation bits, it's just all solid, all the same nice butter yellow. So our next step is we've got 1 cup of light brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar. We're going to slowly add both of them into the butter mixture, mixing while I'm doing this until it's all nice and fluffy and all the same consistency. So I'm just adding a little bit of the white in first, then we gotta add a little bit more in. I'm doing kind of about, I'm eyeballing it obviously, but about 1/3 of each of the cups of sugars at a time. Make sure every now and again you take your spatula, scrape the sides so all that sugar is getting into that butter mixture and not just sitting on the sides hiding. So the last bit of the white sugar. Okay, so now we're going to add in some of the brown sugar. And you might have some tough spots in there because brown sugar tends to clump. Just mix it in really good, make sure that clump is broken up before you add more in. Now I'm going to put in the rest of the sugar. Let's mix this up real good so it's all the same. Okay, so I'm going to scrape again. So this is the wonderful consistency we're looking for. It looks like a big, fluffy, caramelish colored, well, light brown more like, sugar cloud. It's just sugar and butter in there right now. That's all it is. Alright, our next step, now that we've got it fully mixed, is we add in our eggs one at a time. Make them fully mixed before we add in the next egg. Make that sure that's fully mixed, and then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and a cup of our pumpkin puree. egg number 1. See how the egg, you can't even see it anymore? That's nice and mixed in, so we can add in our second egg. A little bit again. This is our 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Fill it right up to the edge. Because the thing that I've always been taught about liquids, always technically, no matter how well you tap it, there's always going to be a little residual. So the higher you fill it, the more it's going to be accurate to a full teaspoon. And as for nice big wet ingredients like the pumpkin puree, you just want to make sure to scrape out as much of it as you can. But again, you still want to try and fill it as much as possible so that you can get a full cup of pumpkin puree. Alright, so now that we're done all mixing, look, it's all the nice same light brown color. It's all mixed together. You could barely say, hey, that's sugar, that's butter. You know, it's all in there. So then now it's nice and mixed together. So now we are going to go to a separate bowl and mix all of our dry ingredients together. Now we've got our wet ingredients all mixed together. We're adding our dry, so we've got 3 cups of all-purpose flour. Just gonna get it in the bowl, like so.
Yay.
Hi, FoxMage.
Hello.
Look who joined us, FoxMage.
I'm in your house.
FoxMage. Okay. On top of the 3 cups of flour, we've also got 2 teaspoons of the baking soda, so I'll just put that right in. And also we're going to put in 1 teaspoon of the pumpkin spice. I could smell that all day, all that cinnamon. Anyways.
Are you hitting high right now?
Nope. I don't know what you're talking about. So, we just nicely... I'm not using an actual whisk, but the basic term is called whisking this all together so that they're all, it's not flour at the bottom and cinnamon on top, it's all evenly mixed up throughout.
Homogenizing.
There's another word for it as well. But there, you can barely see any of the differences, it's all mixed together. So now, we're going to combine them together. Just so that everyone knows, basically, we use salted butter. So we did not add the salt that the recipe calls for because the recipe called for unsalted butter. But basically, if you do use unsalted butter, 2 sticks of unsalted butter, it's half a teaspoon of salt you would add into the dry ingredients that we just mixed together. So now, with our dry mixture, we're going to slowly add in 1/3 at a time until it's fully mixed together. And then we're going to add in our next ingredient after that.
Which is that pumpkin right there.
This is exactly why you slowly add 1/3 at a time, because you get this cloud of powder and you want to make sure it stays in the bowl, not leaves the bowl.
But it doesn't feel like baking until I've had the cloud of flour.
Here's our wonderful mixture with all the dry ingredients in it. Look at it, it's nice and smooth.
Yay.
All the same color.
Yay. Wait, doesn't that take all the adventure out of... I wonder what this one will taste like.
In FoxMage, you will definitely have an adventure, including eggshells. Ugh.
Actually... Oh wait, I did have to pick 1 eggshell out.
Yeah, I know, I remember that. Anyways, so now, we've got 2 cups of our cinnamon chips that we're going to hand mix in. We do not need this anymore. And I failed. There.
Yay.
And you know what these are for? For good bakers that want to lick them. We'll give you one that we didn't touch.
Oh.
wait, we gotta get that on camera. Do it again.
Hang on. Oh.
See, isn't egg so delicious?
Hmm.
Yay!
Yay.
Alright, so now we're gonna hand stir in our chips. which means more cinnamon.
I feel like when we're licking the batter, we need to have like some slow, like funk music from the 70s.
Ew.
Well, just, you know.
You find me some public domain music that meets that criteria, and it will be in there.
I will see what I can do.
Alright, so there we got our cinnamon chips all nicely mixed in, kind of even, so that they're all spread out. And this is where we're going to put them on the cookie sheets. Okay, so now we're going to take our cookie sheets and we're going to spray them with Pam spray. Again, you can also use parchment paper if you either don't like using a spray like Pam, or you just don't happen to have it, but you do have parchment paper. So, just nice even coats. Make sure to get the sides in case the cookies get on the sides.
Not the face.
But then you'll be all buttered.
Not the face.
So now we're going to take a large tablespoon, this is just a large cereal spoon, make it a nice heaping scoop, and we're going to place it on the cookie sheet, evenly spaced so that when they bake they'll spread out and there'll still be enough room that they're not all molded into a giant sheet of cookie. Though that is good if you're purposely looking for that, just fill it.
Yep. It's also great if you're making press cookies and your cookie press isn't working. I speak from experience.
But when it does work, it also is cute. Cute. So now that I've got the cookies on the pan and the oven's preheated to 350, I'm going to put them in and we're going to set it for about 15 to 20 minutes or when it's lightly golden brown around the edge of the cookies.
And here we are with our final product. So the pumpkin cinnamon chip cookies. So, and why don't we go and grab one? So.
Kaplink.
They are a little soft, so and crumbly. So.
Ow.
I'm definitely getting both the cinnamon and the pumpkin there.
Obviously you like them a little more crisp. Some people love crisp cookies. Definitely lean towards more the 20 minute. This is the other 15. They're very good though for if you like soft cookies.
Yep, so this is a good soft cookie.
With a happy cookie dance. So success?
Yep.
So we hope you guys try it out, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.